King Cyrus's fatherhood. At noon, Robert high, like only he could. The fables are bizarre but good. It's Smith Thunderstood.
Oh, I like that with the wolf howl. It was like you were like petting the wolf as it howled.
I was.
Yeah.
You saw.
That was very cute. Well, thanks for joining us for another episode of Myth Understood with me, Paul Bianchi, and hey, what's that in my soup? Oh, it's Sarah Oliver.
Hi, everybody. Today is Monday that we're recording this, but this will be out on Wednesday.
It will be out on Wednesday.
We're
yeah.
time traveling.
Yeah. So if you're listening to this hot and fresh, you're listening and you're an American or interested in American politics, this will be the day after Election Day.
So you're either sobbing or you're sobbing from joy.
Or, and
or things are still up in the air and we're going, oh boy.
You're just gnashing your teeth and or biting past your nails to your fingers.
I do that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I have these on.
That is, she has brass knuckles on.
Yeah.
So she can punch herself in the face if she tries to chew on her nails.
Yes.
True story about Sarah, though, and this was going to be a segue after. What
are you gonna do?
Well, I thought about
no good anecdote has ever started with true story about Sarah.
Oh no, this is real good.
All right.
Because I thought of it right when I said, hey, that's what's that in my soup? It's Sarah, and I was like, yeah. I was going to talk about Sarah and soup.
Oh, I do love soup.
Sarah, yeah, I have never met a human who loves soup more than Sarah Oliver.
That's true. In any weather.
And yeah, she loves soup and she loves pasta and she likes soup that has noodles in it, which is sort of like if pasta were soup.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's an idea. If you listening at home have a really good, only if you're at home. If you're anywhere else, I don't want to hear it. But if you're listening and you have a soup recipe that you really like, send it to me, and I will then take your recipe, go to Sarah's house with the ingredients. I will cook her the soup, and then
I
will present her the soup,
and we'll do a review.
No,
that's mean.
I will ask Sarah 3 questions that she should know the answers to. Mm-hmm. And if she gets, she has to get 2 out of 3 right.
Okay, yes.
And if she gets more than that wrong, I will eat the soup and enjoy it in front of her, and she will get none.
This is actually, he is talking to you about a pitch that I was going to do pre-COVID. It's called Stumping Sarah, because if you ask me something under pressure, which happens on this podcast a lot,
mm-hmm.
and
what's your middle name?
Anne. Thank God, I have that one written down. If you ask me something and I'll get all caught up in the anxiety of being asked something and having to retrieve it from my mind bank, I'll fucking blank, and it can be sometimes it's like, who's that actor in that movie that I know really well, and I'm just like, oh God, and I have to Google it, and I can't sleep until I know this answer that I once knew. It's a whole thing. So I want to do a little Instagram video series one day of that, and Paul is now making it a reality here.
I'm making it a reality. I'm putting forth the challenge, and I'm serious. Send me your soup recipe that you stand by.
Oh yeah, I don't eat beef or pork.
Well, that's the thing though. Is if you're like, hey, I have a really good wonton soup recipe. Like,
you do it with veggies.
Yeah, I could do it with veggie, or I could do it with
chicken,
and you'll be like, it's not the same. Paul, it's not the same, and I'll be like, it's okay. I'll get close.
Why are you already getting in a fight with them
I
in
will
your
fight
head?
them in my head, and I will fight them in my head. I will fight them in my bed. Ooh. Anyway, so yeah, if you, I will do this, and if you want to follow along, of course, you can find Sarah on social media at the Sarah Oliver, and you can find me on social media at the Paul Bianchi.
That's where we live.
And that's our street address. And you can find this podcast at _Myth Understood. And yeah.
That's us.
That's us.
How are you feeling about tomorrow being election day?
I'm just trying not to think about it. I mean, I already did it.
We already did. We both voted.
We have drop off boxes throughout California.
Some have been set on fire. So this is a great start to democracy.
Yeah, but I also feel grateful that I'm in a state that is encouraging drop-off boxes to exist, as opposed to some other states that are saying you only get one per 100-mile radius.
Do not miss your shot to go. I tried Eminem.
What? Okay.
See, stumping Sarah.
Do not miss your shot to go.
This opportunity comes once in a mob spaghetti.
Okay, now I know
That one.
Yeah.
I'm also just distracting myself. I'm trying to stay super busy until 4 p.m. California time tomorrow, which is when you and I will get together and start drinking and crying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
That's the plan. Well, and then that's when Florida stuff starts trickling in. And this all could take weeks. So let's just keep ourselves busy, keep ourselves occupied with things that make us happy.
Are we also going to have politics-themed food and appetizers?
Yes.
Maybe some Ted Cruz de Té?
Yes.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Okay.
Didn't I tell you I want to do themed drinks and snacks tomorrow?
Oh, Lindsey Graham cracker s'mores.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Wait, what's a Joe Biden one that you could do?
His name is harder for me to think of one right now. Oh, Sloppy Joe Bidens?
Ooh, that's good. That's good.
But not Sleepy Joe. They're Sloppy Joe.
Yeah, they're sloppy Joe Bidens.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have any, well, it'd be too late for your snack ideas.
Yeah, no.
So keep them to yourself.
Well, I mean, if people have been talking though, the results may be coming out for months. So who knows? We could be eating political snacks for years.
Yeah.
But that's it for politics. Now on to history,
which is always political.
Which is today, Sarah, we're going to talk about the Theban Trio.
Thank you, Paul.
And we're what?
Today, Sarah.
Today, Sarah, we're going to talk about the Theban Trio. We also are going to talk about maybe cannibalism.
Okay, so this is a boy band themed episode.
Yeah.
The Theban Trio.
The Theban Trio. Yeah.
Cannibals.
When you hear Theban Trio, what do you think?
I just said boy band.
Just boy band?
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say where do you think where are they from?
Oh, Greece.
They are not. There's a Greek Thebes, and then there's also a Egyptian Thebes.
Okay. So the Egyptian one.
The Egyptian, yes, they are from Egyptian Thebes. As I mentioned in previous episodes, the pantheon of Egyptian gods are very much a collection of different cult gods forcibly jammed together by...
Sex cult? An Nexium cult?
A sex cult? No. It's a...
Nexium?
It's not them. They're not playing volleyball.
Am I saying it right?
I don't know. I forgot.
Nexium.
Stump Sarah. Stump Paul. These different cults of gods were forcibly jammed together by priests in the urban epicenters of Egyptian ancient Egypt to make sense of these different cults of worship. They were like, okay, well, they like this guy and he's all grainy, so he's going to be Isis's stepson, and we'll just include him in our pantheon.
He's grainy.
Like he is like a grain harvest god.
Like
he's grainy.
This hieroglyphic's so pixelated.
Yeah. So the Theban Trio are the principal gods of the city of Thebes, specifically during the New Kingdom period, which was 1570 to 1069 BCE.
I've actually seen them on the walls. They're posed like Charlie's Angels.
They are, yeah. They originated that pose. It was before handguns too, so no one knew what they were doing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And coincidentally, one was a redhead, one was a blonde, and one was a brunette. Because otherwise, how could you tell them apart?
No, they blend together. What woman?
What?
What woman is?
What woman is? What are you talking about?
I'm just being a caveman.
Okay.
How girl get pregnant?
How girl get pregnant? This trio is defined by the family unit, Amun the father, Mut the mother, and their baby boy, Khonshu.
Khonshu.
Kansu.
Khonshu.
Kansu or Khonshu, depending on there's all different pronunciations. So we're a little familiar with Amun.
Nope.
in some regards.
No.
One reason is because Amun is sometimes known as Amun-Re or Amun-Ra.
Oh, so he's Ra?
Because, there was a fusion of
He's a daddy.
Amun with Re prompted by the joining of these cults. So, like, Thebes is worshiping Amun, other parts are worshiping Ra, and they're like, let's
Hyphenate it.
hyphenate it because Amun was super worshipped, like very, very powerful.
So, okay, there's Ra almonds, and then the next wifey.
Well, I'll get to her. I'm going to talk about Amun first.
Oh.
I also wrote in my notes, because this is important, I like to imagine that when these gods fuse together, it's like when the Power Rangers Megazord fused with the Green Ranger's Dragon Sword. I was very tired.
I'm going to leave. Walking out my first episode, I walk out the studio.
Wait, come back. The other reason is because Amun is one of the original Ogdoad that created the world in the Waterball Swingers Party.
Oh.
Amun and his consort, Amunet, represented the idea of all things hidden. And I'll expand on that, is that, like, it's not just like, ooh, secret things. It's like
Scavenger hunts.
it's like the philosophy of the meaning of life, like the why of all existence. Because the thought was that Amun knew and guarded the secrets that man is not meant to know.
So he's the worst god then.
Why is he the worst god?
Because that's the shit we're all searching for. And he's like, I know.
Yeah.
Warmer, colder.
That is exactly what he did all day.
Don't go to art school, colder.
Don't go to art school. I wish he'd never told me that. Amun is usually depicted as a bearded man wearing a headdress with tall double plumes that sort of makes him look like a Vegas showgirl.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
But it's drawn more to look like two tall like wafer cookies. I always thought that that's what they looked like, because it was just two.
I see what you're saying.
I never really associated them with looking like plumes of feathers, but they're very stylized plumes.
Okay.
And after the New Kingdom, he also appeared as a ram-headed man.
What the fuck are you talking about, New Kingdom?
These were the dynastic periods of ancient Egypt. He appeared as a ram-headed man, or simply a ram, symbolizing fertility, and in his role as Amun-Min.
He still got wafers?
His wafers became horns.
Oh God, I hope he doesn't hit anything.
Those are some fragile horns.
Crumbles everywhere.
He loses like all ram headbutting fights. Or he wins because he distracts his enemy when they're like, oh, wafers on the ground.
Yeah.
It's like a piñata.
Oh.
His name directly means the hidden one, invisible, and mysterious of form. And unlike most other Egyptian gods, he was considered Lord of all, who encompassed every aspect of creation. So he basically destroys the Ogdoad sex party. He alone does it. He fucked that ball of water just by himself.
I knew it.
Yeah. So the cult of Amun began to rise about 500 years prior, so around 2000 BCE. And during that time, the chief god of Thebes was Montu instead. And Montu was the falcon-headed, sword-wielding god of war. He was considered also to be the strong arm of Horus. My strong arm. And he was known for his brutal severity. And when the Egyptians and the Greeks interacted, the Greeks found a correlation between Montu and Apollo.
Oh, no.
And
no one wants that.
This was because of the duality of Montu, is that he was sweet and beautiful when content, but an absolute nightmare trash fire when he was on a tear. It was that like Montu's name, like Montu was known as like Montu the Content, but in order to strike fear into his enemies, it was just like this. We have Montu the Content, happy sunshiny day. Tomorrow, regular Montu, and regular Montu
the bipolar.
Montu will scratch out your eyes and piss in your mouth after you're dead.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what he does.
I can see that being like Apollo.
Yeah. So The idea of why Amun began to rise as Montu fell is that it aligns with Thebes' rise to power and a period of peace. So clearly, like, what good is Montu to a peaceful civilization?
0, because he's not pissing in anyone's mouth.
Yeah, exactly. There was time now to philosophize about the meaning of life and the hidden secrets of our world. And so Amun was suddenly seen as this greater power to senseless bloodshed.
Okay. Even though he's like, I'm never going to give it up.
Well, it was, yeah, it was, he would reveal it when you die. It's one of those things.
Cool.
Um,
What's the meaning of life? You'll find out when you die.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Following Amun's ascendancy during the New Kingdom, he was hailed as the self-created one and king of the gods who had created all things, including himself.
Okay, he sounds like Trump.
Mm-hmm. His cult was so popular that scholars noted that at the peak of his popularity, Egyptian religion became nearly monotheistic. And it was all Amun all the time. The main temple of Amun at Karnak is still, to this day, the largest religious structure ever built, and was connected to the southern sanctuary of the Luxor Temple.
The Luxor?
In Vegas.
That's my temple.
Absolutely.
All the way out to Mandalay Bay.
I was actually, I did not know that the Luxor was named after a real Egyptian pyramid.
How dare you?
I did not.
I knew the Excalibur was a real castle.
Yeah, of course. You pulled that casino out of a lake one day.
I did.
and it's just as damp and mildewy to this
Right.
day. The ruins of these temples and many others to Amun can be seen today. But there was specifically one of the most famous one is the floating temple at Thebes, known as Amun's Bark, and that's Bark spelled Barque, which was said to be among the most impressive works ever created for the god. And on Amun's great festival, the Feast of Apet, the bark would move with a great ceremony, carrying Amun's statue from Karnak Temple downriver to Luxor Temple so that the god could visit.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah. During the festival of the beautiful Feast of the Valley, which honored the dead, the statues of Amun, Mut, and Kansu traveled on a ship from one side of the Nile to the other in order to participate as well.
So we're thinking that gods live inside their statues?
Yes, during this time, that is part of the thought.
Because it's like he can't really do much if he's a statue.
Yeah, and so
they don't move. They don't like leave it like a ghost and then come back to the tomb.
I think they're drawn to it like moth to a flame. That they're like, oh, you built this beautiful statue of me. I will inhabit it.
Okay.
The thing that this made me think, and I didn't. This wasn't. I didn't find notes of this anywhere. This is just truly
pure
speculation. True, total bullshit.
Yeah.
Is that I feel like this is a sort of activity that may have led to a certain group of people disliking idol worship, because you got to imagine that if you're slaves to this group of people that is practicing idol worship, and it is your job to move heavy ass statues all the time for their surfaces of worship, that you might be like, oh, well, for us, God is everywhere, so we don't have to break our backs moving heavy ass idols.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, this is before parade floats.
Yeah,
so these things aren't on wheels.
No, yeah, they're not full of hot air either.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. I specifically worship hot air balloons.
Yeah, you like Hello Kitty.
Yep. What's the big Elmo? Is there a big Elmo one?
There's usually a big Snoopy.
Oh, that's the one I'm thinking of.
Oh, and a big Woody Woodpecker usually happens too.
My Lord and Savior.
Do
the laugh.
I can't. Let me hear your impression of it.
Oh, it's too good.
Is it too good?
Yeah.
All right, this is my attempt.
That's not the best you can do.
That's like, isn't it like of that?
Oh, you got shit on by Jake.
Jake, let me hear yours.
That was so bad. I can do it though, but I won't give it up for free.
No, she requires.
We're gonna have a new tier on Patreon for the Woody the Woodpecker laugh.
So, anyway, continue with Amun. Queen Hatshepsut.
Queen hot shit.
Queen Hatshepsut once claimed that Amun was her father and used that claim to legitimize her reign.
Probably on like the playground when they're like, my dad can beat up your dad, and she's like, my dad's Almond. He's that statue over there that those people are carrying.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of statues had erections, so like you could fuck a statue.
What size is the statue? Like, what are we talking?
Above average.
No, not the penis. What's the size of the statue? Is it like life size or is it like building size?
Halfway. Like we're talking like 15 feet tall sort of thing.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
All right, you talked me into it.
Challenge accepted.
Alexander the Great would do the same in 331 BCE at Siwa Oasis, proclaiming himself son of the god Zeus Amun, which was the Greek fusion.
Yeah, you gotta mix it up.
Yeah. And in Greece, Zeus Amun was depicted as full-bearded Zeus with ram's horns.
That could be cute.
Yeah. He was associated with power and virility through imagery including the bull and the ram. And the god was taken to Rome also as Jupiter Amun, where he was venerated for the same reasons as elsewhere.
Do they just think rams fuck a lot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on.
Just, it's not something I've seen.
Of course they do, Sarah. You've just not been to the ram petting zoo on Forsyth.
Is that what kids do at petting zoos? They just watch rams fuck?
Yes. Of course, Sarah. All right, so now to Amun's wife, Mut. Ancient Egyptians considered what bird to be a protecting and nurturing mother?
Woody the Woodpecker.
I'll give you three options. We've got the river ibis.
Wait, you said a bird.
A bird, yeah.
The river ibis?
Yeah.
Is that a bird?
Yes.
Uh.
They're like
A bird, the ibis of the river, not
yeah.
okay.
So river ibis.
This is for protection?
This is this bird is protecting and maternal. Okay. So anyway, river ibis.
Uh-huh.
We've got pelican.
Uh-huh.
And we've got a vulture.
Vulture.
It's absolutely the vulture.
Yeah, duh.
Is it because I put it last?
No.
No?
Because I know.
Why are vultures protecting and maternal?
Because they eat dead things, and they're protecting because they circle.
Great. So then it wouldn't surprise you to learn that the word for mother in ancient Egyptian was the same as the word for vulture because they were so synonymous.
That's what I call my mom. Goddamn vulture of my soul.
So she was either depicted as a woman, or as a woman with wings, or as a vulture, and she wore crowns of royalty. So sometimes wearing the single crown or the double crown. And
What's a double crown?
oh, the double. So
It's like a double stack crown?
yeah. So there's the Northern Kingdom and the Southern Kingdom, and when the kingdoms united, they combined their crowns.
Like one on top of the other? Like a cake?
No, it was one fit inside the other. I think I described this to you before. I was like, one was shaped sort of like a bowling pin, and one was shaped
It's a bowling pin.
like a bowling pin.
Oh. This is why we should record before I've eaten, man.
Did you spell bowling differently in your head?
No, I was imagining like a pin that you put into bowling balls to clean them.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and then the other one was shaped like more of a traditional crown, and so like the bowling pin part fits inside of like the red sheath.
Great.
But she would also wear a vulture headdress, which
Not cute.
which the new kingdom queens would wear in real life.
So wait, is it like bald on top?
No, it's like it would have like a bird on the front and then a whole bunch of feathers dangling down. Very Coachella.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So also occasionally she was depicted as male.
Well, that happens to mothers.
Yeah. Yeah, she loses her perceived sexuality.
Yeah.
In part because she was Mut who giveth birth, but was herself not born of any. So it was the idea that she...
You just start off man.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Because man is default,
Mm-hmm.
but she turns to woman.
Man is two-fault.
She transcends into a woman to give birth and then returns to manhood.
Yeah, she's like, I get this dick back on.
Mhm.
That was boring.
And it was also due to the superstitious belief that there were, in fact, no male vultures at all.
Huh.
Peop-
Someone's just poking around in those feathers. I don't see a vulture dick.
Well, it's because, or at least at the time, and even to this day, it's sort of hard to distinguish a male vulture from a female vulture.
Right.
There's not a huge size difference or color difference whatsoever. But of course, now people will say like, well, actually, the way you can tell is, and they just didn't know that back then. In later times, she was shown as a woman with the head of a lioness, the head of a cow, or the head of a cobra.
You gotta have different outfits for different days of the week. Come on.
Yeah. And similarly to Khepri, the beetle face god, it's like the head of a lioness. She's got the head of a lioness in place of her head.
Cute.
The head of a cow in place of her head. A full cobra in place of her head.
Even a tail?
Yeah, it just sort of like sits on an empty neck.
I don't like that one.
It's her spooky Halloween one.
Yeah.
As she took on the attributes of other Egyptian goddesses. So like as this sort of became like more monotheistic, it was like she was taking on these aspects from like Tefnut was typically a lioness, Hathor was typically a cow, and then got some sneakiness. Also, sometimes she had an erect penis on her statues.
Well,
because you had to be able to have sex with the statues.
You have to.
That was what it was about.
That's how you worship.
That is. As Mantu fell out of favor, he was briefly Mut and Ammon's child before being replaced by their baby boy.
Oh my God. It's like one of those mid-season changes when you have a child actor.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden it's 4 years older because they're like, we're not writing dialogue for a 4-year-old.
Yeah. He was briefly played by a Skarsgård, too. I'm not going to tell you which one, though. So he was replaced, though, by Khonsu, who was the sometimes falcon-headed lunar deity. Sometimes he just had the regular face of a man, though. He was the personification of light of the crescent moon.
Oh, I love him.
He was also thought to help women conceive children and help livestock breed successfully.
Well, that's very nice.
Yeah, pregnator bull.
It's a weird gig for a kid, but happy to do it.
Yeah. He was also supposed to possess absolute power over the evil spirits which infested the earth.
Oh my God, this kid rocks.
Which made themselves hostile to man and attacked man's body under the forms of pain, sickness, and diseases. Produced decay, madness, and death.
What a fun time before we knew what germs were, right?
Yeah.
We were just blaming all these fucking demons and stuff.
He made plants grow, fruit ripen, and people fall in love.
This kid rocks.
Most interesting, though, is Khonsu's dark side. And if you
When he's feeling a little cranky before nap time.
Yeah, it's like what's the Stewart on Mad TV? I'm in my dark place.
Yes. Look what I can do.
In fact, his dark side is what started me off on this journey of talking about the Theban Trio in the first place. Because
you love dark children.
I love dark children. Oh God.
Well, the darkness of children. Good God. Good God, correct me there.
Yeah.
You love cranky children.
So for he as a character within the debated pyramid text, the Cannibal Hymn.
So sometimes this child just snacks on people.
Sometimes he helps people snack on people.
So this is less of a nap time thing. It's more of a snack time thing.
Yeah. And it's political snacks.
Yeah, political snack. Oh God. Please.
So
when does he get so cranky? He's like, you should eat that guy.
we'll get to it. Appearing first in the pyramid of Unas at the end of the 5th dynasty, the Cannibal Hymn preserves an early royal butchery ritual in which the deceased king Unas, assisted by Khonsu and the god Shemzu, slaughters, cooks, and eats the gods as sacrificial bulls. So it's like your spirit has been put in the sacrificial bull. I'm going to eat this bull and thus cannibalize the gods that I worship.
Who did that?
The Pharaoh Unas.
Oh no.
He does this to absorb their divine powers so that he might negotiate his passage into the afterlife.
He already had one.
And guarantee. What do you mean?
He already has a VIP ride in.
Yeah, he gets a VIP ride, but he still has to pass the test at the end.
And you think eating God spirit's going to help you?
He wants leverage. He's going to be like, you let me into the afterlife. And not only guarantee my transformation into the afterlife, but also make me a celestial divinity in the afterlife so that people worship me.
So if anyone can make me this
death.
soup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Any recipes for God soup.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm into.
It's worth noting that Shemzu is the Lord of Perfume, the maker of all precious oil.
What?
The Lord of the oil press, and the Lord of ointments, and the Lord of wine.
This is the Pharaoh?
That's Shemzu is the other person who's helping him. So we've got Khonsu, who already
God
met.
of perfume. Some guy he met in a mall.
young men would press grapes with their feet, dance and sing for Shemzu as they did it in order to make their wine taste good.
He doesn't seem like the mightiest of gods.
But Shemzu was also the Lord of Blood, the great
the
slaughterer.
The correlations between the powers are out of control.
The great slaughterer of the gods, and he who dismembers bodies.
What? Why can't he just be the nice smelling grape guy?
He would particularly lasso the damned, corral them together, and squeeze their head.
Okay, you buried the lead here, dude.
And squeeze their head like grapes and make them explode with gore.
What?
That's the correlation, Sarah. God of wine, grapes, squeeze head like grapes, gore.
What?
Blood.
Is he also the god of wine?
Yes, Lord of Wine.
Well, okay. You just said he made little boys stomp on it and sing.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, but he drank
Otherwise,
it.
he would squish their heads and make them explode between his fingers.
So he's like a Dionysus Krampus mixture.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Oh.
He's the best. I like to think that this is Khonsu and Shemzu are childhood friends.
Why do you like to think that?
Well, because why else are they helping the pharaoh together to commit the cannibal ritual?
It seems like this guy's just a fucked up person, but if you need a backstory, sure.
I need a backstory. Sarah, before this podcast episode began, I said to Sarah and Jake, I was like, I'm worried that like the rest of Egyptian mythology is going to be more like textual and less mythological. It's hard to find the myths sometimes, and so.
Well, here we are making them up.
Let me live. Let me live with this childhood friendship, the unlikely friendship of because they're both children with dark sides.
The cannibal and the grape header. Squeezer.
The grape squeezer and the child that you said that you liked,
the cannibal.
Khonsu. Neither of them are cannibals.
Wait, you said he's the god of cannibalism.
No. Unas, the pharaoh, is partaking in the cannibal ritual.
No, but the child dark side is cannibalism, right?
Khonsu's dark side is that he partakes in the ceremony.
Wait, is this the child of Almond Ra?
Mut and Amun
Yeah.
had Kansu.
Yeah.
Kansu helps Shemzu.
Oh, this is the only time he participates in cannibalism.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were saying like when he's cranky, he helps people eat other people.
Oh, he does.
In general?
In according to this pyramid text, he does.
Okay.
He doesn't just help Unis do it, but this pyramid text is just about this pharaoh Unis doing it. And so to make all of this clear, here is a truncated translation of the Cannibal Hymn. Are you ready?
No.
Okay. The sky rains down. The stars darken. The celestial vaults stagger. The bones of Acher tremble. The deacons are stilled against them at seeing King Unis rise as a god. A god who lives on his fathers and feeds on his mothers. Pharaoh is Lord of Wisdom, whose mother knows not his name. Pharaoh's glory is in the sky. His might is on the horizon. He sits with his back to Geb, for it is Pharaoh who weighs what he says, together with him whose name is hidden, on this day of the slaying of the oldest ones. Pharaoh is he who eats men and lives on gods. It is Khonsu, slayer of lords, who cuts the throats for the Pharaoh, and extract for him what is in their bodies, for he is the messenger, whom Pharaoh sends to restrain. It is Shemzu, perfumed guy, who will cut them up for Pharaoh, and cooks meals of them in his dinner pots. It is Pharaoh who eats their magic and gulps down their essence. Their big ones are for his morning meal, the middle-sized ones are for his evening meal, and the little ones are for his night meal.
Little Goldilocks.
Pharaoh feeds on the lungs of the wise, and likes to live on the hearts and their magic. Pharaoh abhors against licking the coils of the red crown.
What?
But delights to have their magic in his belly. The doer of ill deeds have no power to destroy the chosen seat of the Pharaoh among the living in this land forever and ever.
So that's the happy ending.
Yeah, that's so imagine being an Egyptologist arriving in a tomb and deciphering these hieroglyphics and just discovering them with like probably excited horror.
I think that's just what they expect when they get into those tombs.
Yeah, probably. I mean,
Yeah.
there was a lot of death worship, a lot of darkness, and the debate of this Cannibal Hymn is just how literal to take the details of the text. It is like they wonder, like, is it like taking a wafer to symbolize the eating of the body of Christ, or is there an aspect to Unis's world where they actually ate other humans to gain strength?
Probably.
And that's what some hypothesize, because there has to be a frame of reference for this text, because the text seems to mean that even if the Pharaoh wasn't actually eating people to gain strength, that elsewhere in Egypt, people are doing this, because otherwise where would they get this idea from?
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah. So that's basically the cannibal text. It's a little bit longer than that, but I sort of pulled out the juicy bits.
The lungs.
Yeah, as did Khonsu and Shemzu in assisting him in the eating.
So the Pharaoh's still alive today. He's still ruling? I don't know a lot about Egyptian politics.
Unis is ruling in the afterlife if all of this came to pass.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, great.
Yeah, so he'll be waiting for you.
I'm not making it to the end. I'm
Right.
out. I'm out level 2.
Well, maybe if you eat some god soup, you can.
Got any god soup recipes? Got any god soup?
Yeah, we
recipes
need some
tomorrow?
god soup recipes. Before I that's sort of what I had for today. Before I get too far ahead of myself, I want to give a shout out to a misfit, a person who enjoys
Dungeons and Dragon Wagon.
Dungeons and Dragon Wagon, and just Dragon Wagon Radio in general, and has been an assist, and just
Rolling natty 20s.
rolling natty 20s, and just being real helpful. This is for at and I don't know how to pronounce what this Instagram social media handle
Great
is.
shout out.
Yeah, it's a great one. It's at either at the AFANC, the fancy,
The fancy.
the fancy. But yeah, just you know what you did.
What? That sounds like a threat.
It does sound
You
like
know what
you know what you
did.
did. But and keep doing it. Yo, my name is. Who cares what my name is? I'm here to sell you.
Keep going.
Give me the intro again. But we're keeping this. Yo, hey, are you trying to get into the afterlife?
Hey, what's your name?
My name's Joel.
Hey, Joel. Yeah, I'm trying to get in the afterlife.
Yeah, well, I have a local wine shop that is crazy.
What's so crazy about it, Joel?
Well, you see my assistants in the back? They got names too. That's Stevie and Louie.
Hey,
And
what? They're just dancing on those grapes and singing all crazy.
we sing to Shemzu, otherwise he squeezes our heads and makes our heads explode into blood.
That sounds silly. What are you talking about? Your wine shop, huh?
Yeah, well, I got this wine shop, and Steve and Louie working on the back. They make regular wine, but who cares about regular wine? Because you know what you need? You need a way to trick your way into the afterlife. You need leverage.
Say what?
You need leverage.
Okay.
Yeah. So in order to get that leverage, what you got, what you need.
Exactly right. So what are you saying that I have to buy from you all top shelf like, huh?
You got to get this special concoction that is made out of the divine essences of all the gods. You got to cannibalize your gods. If you
Excuse me?
you got to eat the very gods that you worship.
I don't think I could do that. I
You-
just go fuck the statues.
No, well, stop that because
No.
that's how you get a chafed butthole.
That's true.
you got to worship the gods and then you got to eat their fucking faces.
Well, okay. How much?
Oh, well, let me show you what you do over here. This is my stable. This is all of my oxen.
You're spending a lot of time on just one customer.
Well, I don't got a lot of customers. I scared them away.
Okay.
All right, we got to make this fast, otherwise the Shemzu's going to squeeze our heads.
Yeah. I don't like that, even though there's nothing in a head, huh?
Yeah,
There's nothing.
we'll
The
just-
stupid, throw it away.
Yeah, what I learned.
Go ahead and squeeze it.
Remember, Isis got her head cut off. She still walked around.
She's fine.
Yeah, she's fine. That's us. Anyway, so these are our oxen. Ollie oxen free. They are not free though. We are gonna name them
What?
after the gods. This is Hathor. This is Tot. This is Kepri, and we are gonna name the gods. Name these oxen after these gods.
Okay, and then I take one home and I keep it as a pet because they're so cute.
No, we break the necks one rather than another.
No!
Crack,
No!
crack.
Why?
And then you eat this entire oxen. 3 of them. Stay here.
This doesn't seem like it's a what?
And the divine essences will allow you to get into the afterlife.
Well, I guess I need to do that.
Anyway, when you get there, say, Joel sent me. But then they'll say, his name don't matter.
Is this some sort of ox and blood wine club I can join? Ox of the month.
No.
Good night. Yeah. God damn. It feels so good to know we're not rusty at improv this year.
I think that was my favorite thing that I've done in a while.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for teaching me about these horrible people, these horrible children, these horrible new gods.
But you really liked Kansu.
The evil child?
Yeah.
I did up until a point.
You didn't like that he was assisting in
Cannibalism. It's very gross.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's probably my least favorite thing. If he was like assisting in, like just regular old stabbing, I think that'd be fine.
Yeah. Well, he also hangs out on the boat. He has one of the hours of the night for Ra.
Okay. I don't care.
All right.
I'm still mad at him.
Okay, that's fair.
And who's letting a child drive a boat?
He's a godchild, though. You have a godchild, right?
I have a godchild.
Yeah. So you know that they grow really quickly.
They do go really quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like yesterday.
Is Luna your godchild?
Luna is my godchild.
Yeah. So,
She's, oh.
and you'd let her drive a boat.
I'd let her do anything she wants. She's so dang cute.
Yep, that's how it is. All right, well, thanks for listening to today's episode. I hope that if you need it to take your mind off of things, that it helped you relax.
Cannibalism is a plus versus what we're dealing with here.
Yeah. So that's us. I'm doing really well.
Oh God!
Sarah, finish this out.
Yeah, here I come, baby. I'm gonna rescue you. Okay. Again, if you love us, please check us out on Instagram and Twitter at the Paul Bianchi, at the Sarah Oliver, at _myth understood, and at It's Dragon Wagon. And guys, you can always rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. It really helps people find us, and it makes us so happy to hear that you love us. If you don't love us, just go away. Don't say anything mean. And always know that we are with y'all through all this crazy times. We love you, and reach out if you need a pal.
Yeah.
Okay. Night.
Night.
In the mid-1960s, the world's smartest TV producers brought together 4 young musicians to create a TV show that was years ahead of its time. I'm talking, of course, about the Monkees. And you, comedy, music, pop culture nerd, probably love the show, but don't realize it. That's why I, Monkees superfan Takura McCullough, sit down with a variety of guests to watch every Monkees episode and discuss their glory on the Monkees podcast. Whether you're already a fan or have never seen an episode, the Monkees podcast is for you, as we discuss the Monkees phenomenon, hilarious antics, and deep fandom. So check it out at monkeyspodcast.com, that's PAWDCAST, or wherever podcasts are found.
It's Dragon Wagon.